Welcome to Carpeberlin. We're together here with Kelvin Sholar, and he's now for 2 years already. His second anniversary here in Berlin, isn't it?
Yeah, this week.
And so you're originally from Detroit?
That's right, from Detroit, Michigan.
And you're a jazz musician, although I still have a little bit of problems to the term of jazz, because you're doing so much more than jazz, or you're combining so many elements of jazz that for me it's not just jazz anymore. How would you define your new style of music? Is there something like your style, or what is your special focus in music?
Well, my special focus, looking over my career and where it was unintentional, but now these days where it's very intentional, my focus is to blend different cultures, different styles, different aspects of music to show that the language of music is not limited at all. It's actually the musicians that are limited with how we express ourselves, but music in and of itself is such a great and universal topic that is not limited at all. So my goal and my style really is just to take whatever elements of different forms of music that I like and to combine them into new or untypical ways of doing it.
And just earlier we were talking about your multicultural world music influences.
Yes.
And what was the most exotic for you? What did you do and thought like, wow, this is really wild? And I'm thinking about Mussorgsky currently. Or wasn't that so exotic?
That's not well. I mean, I did a lot involving with Latin music, which is a misnomer from music from the Caribbean and from South America, which is part of my culture, but not my culture's not really rooted. It's all based on the same African roots, and that was quite fun with groups like Kevin Jones and 10th World and Jerry Gonzalez and Fort Apache. But I've also been involved in mixing jazz with classical music, which is also not necessarily from my culture, and it's quite exotic when you talk about a culture that originated blues, R&B, jazz, and gospel to go into people like Ravel, Bach, Beethoven, and Stravinsky. So I would say those two are kind of exotic blends that I've been involved with. But I've also very much into flamenco music, Japanese gagaku music, Indian classical music, pretty much music from everywhere, anything that's good.
I also, you just recently told me that you even did some dubstep.
Oh yeah, I did some dubstep music and dub-influenced music, and in fact, I'm giving a concert here on October 7th with one of the innovators of dub music and dub-influenced techno here in Berlin, Mr. Moritz von Oswald, for Popcom. It's a mixture of electronic music, techno and dub with classical music. So we mix Ravel's Bolero and Mussorgsky's Pictures of an Exhibition with techno, dub, and jazz.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the roots of techno? Because I presume that a lot of people think, oh, techno, that came from Holland, or techno, that came from Berlin. But
techno came from Detroit.
Hey.
It's initiated by the Belleville Three, Mr. Derek May, Kevin Saunderson, and Juan Atkins, who took some of the music of Kraftwerk, Parliament Funkadelic, Prince, a lot of different influences, and made it into a new art using different drum machines, the 808 and 303, 909, things like that, and creating a form of music that also synthesized parts of dance music like disco, Giorgio Moroder, and combined it all into a new art form. And then from there it spread to different parts of Europe, and today when you say techno, it's more known as a German art form, but it's actually from Detroit.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
So you brought out a new CD, I heard.
Yeah, I'm involved in a project. The CD is not necessarily mine, but I'm involved in this project here. It's a Recomposed Volume 3, where Deutsche Grammophon gave Carl Craig and Maritz von Oswald the original recorded performances of Ravel's Bolero, Ravel's Spanish Rhapsodies, and Mussorgsky's Pictures of an Exhibition, and allowed them to edit and change the pieces and add elements to it. And I was involved as a performer, and I'm involved now as an arranger to arrange the live performance that we're going to give on October 7th. And it's a very special project and a very interesting one. And I think that it's going to make a big noise because it's the first time that classical music and electronic music is involved in such a special way as this.
What do you call yours for yourself, like your personal recipe of life or of success, if you want to put it that way?
Being open to as much music as possible. I don't listen to a lot of music in order to say, yeah, I can combine any styles, but I just find myself gravitated so many different styles. And then when I express myself musically, I don't limit myself to particularly the vocabulary of jazz or classical or this or that. I just try to put it all together in a way that makes sense to me, but in a way that expresses some kind of coherent beauty behind all those forms of music. So I would say that's what separates me from a lot of other musicians, is my depth in being able to deal with different kinds of music and my depth in being able to combine it and express it coherently.
So where do you see your limits?
In my imagination, in my ability to actually imagine, and in my technique, my ability to actually perform. That's where my limits are, I think.